everyone, I am the Boss Man, and as you can see, we're doing some different things here. This is my home office, and you can see a little bit of a green screen back there, and some lights, and some junk on my desk. This is a bit of a rushed episode this week because I've taken over our podcast. So if you haven't seen the new episode of the podcast, it was just published yesterday, so give that a look on our YouTube channel here. But yeah, I still wanted to get an episode out to you guys, and maybe I will make this show a bit more casual moving forward. But I got some stuff I want to talk to you about this week. For those unaware, this is the last episode of The Boss Man before E3. Yeah, 2 weeks from now, I will be on the show floor, hopefully playing Zelda. That's really exciting stuff. But even though this is E3, I do have some things that I am worried about. In fact, these are my top 5 reasons that Nintendo confuses me at E3 2016. So reason number 1. Yes! Zelda's there! But on the Wii U? So, after all these years, we're finally going to have a massive blowout of Zelda at E3. They did do a pretty big one for Skyward Sword, but it compared nothing back to 2004, 2005. I think it was 2004 E3 when they unveiled Twilight Princess, and part of their booth transformed into Hyrule. So there was like this cool board on the ground with water and fish on it, and like trees and an animatronic Wolf Link. And that's what we're going to get, except it's going to be the entire booth this year. And that's awesome. That's exciting. But they're showing off the Wii U version of the game. Didn't they just announce this is also coming to NX? And that the delay to 2017, in all likelihood, is so it can release with the NX? Yeah, something doesn't add up here. An entire E3 dedicated to what many will feel is the inferior version of the game. Now, there's some benefits. This obviously Wii U owners will get to be excited that this is the version of the game they're going to get. No matter what happens to NX, they can still be hyped about. They still have a really high quality game. But yeah, I can't help but be overshadowed by the NX news for it and the fact that this is not the NX version of the game. I said last year it only made sense to delay the game if they wanted to show it off on NX next, and they're not. So, I'm still confused. Thanks, Nintendo. Speaking of the NX, reason number 2 that I'm confused by Nintendo D3 is that the NX releases in early 2017, and guess what? E3 is not cool enough to have it. According to Nintendo, the NX releases in 9 months. January, February, March of 2017, 9 months. And we still don't know what this console is. If there's one thing I can think about right now, it's the NX. That's it. I just made a rumor post about it, something about a unified device thing. I don't know, some funky stuff that you can go check out ZeldaInformer.com if you want to read more. But let's see here. If only there was this huge media event that the world pays attention to once a year and is really, really successful for hardware unveiling. I mean, this event doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not a thing. Except it is. And apparently, E3 is not part of the Cool Kids Club. And Nintendo's skipping town with the NX, doing its own unveiling event after E3 instead of before E3, which is what the competition did in 2013. I don't get it. I'm confused by it. Hopefully the NX is worth it. The third reason I'm confused by Nintendo at E3 this year is that only Zelda is playable. Wait a second. It's a 2017 game. Where's Pokemon? Well, it turns out that Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Go will be at E3 on Nintendo Treehouse Live. I believe Pokemon Sun and Moon is going to be towards the end of their live stream on the day of Zelda. And then the following day, they're going to have Pokemon Go and Tokyo Mirage Sessions and some other games like that going on day 2. And that's exciting, that's great, but they're not playable, at least not yet. Nintendo still has not gone back on their Zelda is the only playable game at E3. So, yeah, Zelda doesn't come out till next year, so it definitely should be on the show floor. And I understand it has a really long demo, so you want to get as many demo stations up as you can. But if you're a media member that doesn't care a whole lot about Zelda, you probably want to play something else. And Pokemon is a huge franchise, so they could have made this like the Zelda Pokemon Adventure, where you have Zelda U, Pokemon Go, and I know they haven't done mobile games on the show floor ever before, but now's the time to start. So you can have Zelda U, Pokemon Go, and the Pokemon Sun and Moon, showing off 3 major games on 3 different platforms, all at their booth at E3 for the first time ever. And they're not. It's just Zelda. I'm hyped for Zelda. I'm excited. I work as Zelda Informer. I'm going to E3 because of Zelda. But I can't help but be a little confused here. They could have offered a little bit more. Just a little bit. They don't have to give us Tokyo Mirage Sessions or anything. Just Pokemon would have been good. Pokemon and Zelda, that's an okay E3. The fourth reason that I'm really confused by Nintendo this year is that they are live and unscripted on their live stream. And that could be really good, but it's probably going to be awkward. So I love the Nintendo Treehouse live streams. The parts I dislike are when a majority of that stream happens to be unscripted. Sometimes the reactions are really tired looking. People on the stream can look bored. There's a lot of awkward silences, or you get forced reactions that don't feel natural, where someone just says something because no one said anything in a while and they just feel like they need to entertain the audience. Nintendo Treehouse's best work is when they have a little bit of a script, or at least a loose version of one. It's what made Nintendo Treehouse's first appearance at E3 many years ago great. They had a really tight schedule with planned interviews, and if they followed all that stuff up with some script. There was some off-the-cuff remarks, but there was enough script structure in there to keep everything tied together and everything entertaining. When they go totally unscripted, it's extremely raw, and that can be really good. And it can be really natural, but it's also extremely awkward, especially on really long streams. If this was just a 1-hour event of them playing Zelda, great, that's great. I bet you the unscripted raw approach works wonderful and they're highly entertaining. But then when they got to carry that for a 4, 5, 6, 7 hour stream, and then they got to do that 2 days in a row, I think it's going to be really awkward. And I don't know if I blame the Treehouse for that. I don't know who made that decision, but I feel like they should have a little bit of a script. Just to keep things a bit more structured. That's just me. Who knows? It could end up being fantastic, but I think I'm confused by the fact that I just do not have a little bit of a script. That is totally unscripted. And, now that I think with it unscripted, it's kind of like if I was doing these Bossman episodes without a script. If you go back and look at some old Bossman episodes, I did not have a script. It wasn't good. That's what I worry about for them. All right, my last reason number 5. Let's just get this out of the way quick. Nintendo fans are going to get to play Zelda U if you're special. And this really confuses me. 500 people at Nintendo New York are going to get to play Zelda U over 5 days. They actually get a longer period to try to play the game than I'm going to get at E3. Although I'll probably get more opportunities to play the game like over and over again than they will. And if you don't live in New York, if you're not one of those 500, you are done. And New York City has millions and millions and millions of people in it, plus all the people that live around it. And the fact that only 500 can play is ridiculous. And the reason it's ridiculous is not so much that the Nintendo New York store can handle more than 500 people playing it. It's that they're not opening it up to bigger branches. If you remember in the past, they had the Best Buy partnerships to let you demo games. Why aren't they doing that again? That's why I'm confused. It's nice for those 500, but it sucks for everybody else who wishes they could play that demo locally in some fashion. And yes, I realize Best Buys are not everywhere, but at least they are more spread out than a single store in New York City. That's all I got for you this week. Thank you for joining me right here on The Boss Man. Please check out our podcast yesterday. You can follow me on Zelda Informer by just clicking on my name, or you can follow me on Twitter at NateJance. I love you guys, and it's been cool. Next time you'll see me, it'll be live from E3. Please look forward to that, Boss Man. I got a special E3 episode planned for that. It's going to be good fun. Adios.